Hey guys, welcome back to Nintendo News. Let's go ahead and talk about what Nintendo had to say about the development of Mario Kart World. We were thinking about what to do for the next Mario Kart game, even during the development of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and we began prototyping in March 2017. It was at the end of that year when we officially started to work on it as a project. I felt that in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, we were able to perfect the formula that we'd been following in the series up to that point, where players race on individual courses. That's why this time we wanted the gameplay to involve players driving around a large world, and we began creating the world map. If that idea just been to add more courses, then I think we would have called it Mario Kart 9. But that wasn't our approach this time. We wanted to take the series to the next level, so we decided to drop the numbering this time and go with a completely new title, Mario Kart World. So we'd already added Mario Kart World to the concept art from the early stages of development. I also led the art direction during the development of Mario Kart 8, and even then, the change to HD dramatically increased our capabilities to create some very distinctive courses and lots of characters. Also, we were able to implement visuals from The Legend of Zelda and Animal Crossing in the DLC. So I felt to a certain extent like we'd achieved everything we wanted. And that's when I heard that we'd be creating a single world Mario Kart game, which I thought sounded pretty interesting. Until now, we've only been able to express the world of Mario and other characters through different courses, so I thought this would and this would give us a new way to portray the world and have a lot of potential in it. So when I heard the concept, my excitement won out against my expectations of how challenging it would be. In a way, that was when all our troubles began. I also felt that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, we'd pretty much perfected the formula of Mario Kart game, where each course is played separately. In that sense, I felt a Mario Kart game where you play in an interconnected world would also be rewarding from a developer's perspective. However, from a player's perspective, it can sometimes feel particularly disappointing when a sequel changes too many things. So as someone involved in game development, I felt that our first challenge was to figure out how to add new elements while still making it satisfying for those who've played previous Mario Kart games. On the other hand, the direction of visual design changed drastically. For Mario Kart 8, based on the concept of vehicles transforming to be like hovercraft, we've opted for a futuristic and sophisticated design. Whereas in this game, since you're driving through all kinds of locations in the world, we wanted to convey the feeling of adventure. We also wanted to create a lively, bustling atmosphere, even in a vast world, and we were talking about how we wanted to recapture that feeling from Super Mario Kart, the first title in the series. During those discussions, someone on the team mentioned the key phrase, playfulness. We worked on it while kicking the can down the road in terms of deciding what to give up on, so that at some point we knew it was going to get messy. But as we decided to release Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass, we thought that would give us a bit more time to continue development. That's when the conversation of moving it to the Nintendo Switch 2 system came up, and this suddenly opened up a bunch of possibilities on what we could do. It was truly a ray of hope. It was first brought up around 2020. Back then, we already had an idea of the next system's expected specs, but it wasn't always like that until a bit later that we actually received working development units. Until then, we just had to proceed with development based on provisional estimates. When we were developing for the Nintendo Switch, we often worried whether we could find the right balance between planning and performance. Of course, the Switch system's performance is sufficient for developing different kinds of games, But if we had included everything we wanted to in this game's vast world, then it wouldn't have run at 60 FPS and would have suffered from constant frame rate drops. I think there were a lot of people on the team who were worried about whether we could really manage it, but once we decided to release it on the Switch 2, we expected our worries to evaporate all at once. I remember being overjoyed when I discovered we could express even more than we originally set out to. That's right, of course the graphics needed to be more detailed, but like Sato-san, I also felt like we auto-weighed by the sense of relief from the beginning. The designers were saying they wanted to make the art richer, so I thought we could achieve that now. For example, team members who were creating the terrain and the scenery, we were really happy because they could now place more trees, which were key to giving the world a more natural look. First, we created music for courses like we've always done before then. Thought about what to do the roads outside the courses. We decided to have 2 different kinds of music depending on course themes, but that approach didn't work well. It ended up sounding weird because the tracks have different tempos and beats, so we decided to find a way to end each of the courses' themes. Even though they're connected by the route, video game music often plays on a loop. And in this game, too, the same music keeps playing if you're driving laps around a course. But for Knockout Tour, as you get closer to the next course, the music transitions to the outro, so the theme ends nicely. We also created a new intro for each themes, which start to play shortly before you reach the gate, building excitement. Then, as you actually pass through the gate, it changes to the theme of the course you've entered. By repeating this, it feels like a melody is playing along to live, creating a sense of immersion. For other models, like Free Roam, we prepared lots of music in addition to course themes and made it so the game would automatically select the right track depending on the situation. During development, we called this the jukebox. For this, we created a lot of arrangements of music composed from past Super Mario and Mario Kart games. All together, over 200 music playlists for the jukebox. These are all brand new arrangements. We also did live recordings. We prepared pieces from quite a wide variety of musical genres. I believe those are well-versed in video game music, as well as those who aren't will enjoy listening to them. The jukebox will feature racing towards Bowser's Castle while listening to Bowser's Road from Super Mario 64, or going for a nighttime spin while soaking in the Rainbow Road theme from Super Mario Kart. During the daytime, various bright and cheerful tracks play. In the evening and at night, the arrangements are more chilled. We recorded a brand arrangement for the staff credits theme from Mario Kart DS in a style that fits the new game. And I personally was really moved when I listened to it driving around the game's evening scenes. You can even enjoy it even without knowing the original tracks, but I think someone with fond memories of playing various Super Mario games will feel a wave of nostalgia listening to these tunes as they drive around. It's everywhere's just straight roads. It's going to feel the same no matter where you drive. With such a vast world, we thought it'd be a shame if you were just driving in a straight line the whole time. Then we found a hint from a book that said skateboards create infinite possibilities in a city with wall or dirt track. We thought it would be fun to be able to drive in completely different ways, just the wall ride. Just for the tricks, rail ride, and the wall ride, we reference extreme sports like skateboarding, snowboarding, and BMX bike rides. I think these tricks will really give players a chance to use their imagination as they come up with ideas. I'm gonna drive up that wall, let me use that pillar, or can I ride the guardrail or power line? I see, but if you're giving players more moves, then you also need to design courses that account for them, right? How many courses are in the game? In this game, you don't race on just the courses. The areas between courses are also used for racing, so it's as if their courses spread out all over the world. And if you were to add all those possible variations up, it would easily exceed to 100 various courses. The designers came up with various ideas that if the theme was as a vast world, they could show things other than racing. There were sketches of characters, scenery, costumes that matched the various landscapes, characters eating. We had a vast interconnected world that matched the various deals of the concept art, depicted scenes of people's lives there. We decided to design the costumes and vehicles as a set and created these poster-style designs. Yes, they were two completely separate elements. We discussed the idea of using coins to buy clothes from clothing stores, but that would have meant stopping at stores to shop, which would have disrupted the flow given that this is a world where you can keep driving. That's when the idea of food came up. We thought, why don't you give a drive-through system where characters eat while driving, and eating makes them change outfits or transform into a different character, though it's utterly ridiculous. Not all characters have outfits that change by eating food, but some have a variety that you can pick up while driving around and eating. So we hope this will be a good incentive for players to try out different characters. That's right, in previous games in the series, Cow was part of the scenery or an obstacle on one of the courses, but when we were working on an early version of a course in this game set on a ranch that players could drive through, this sketch came up. It was thanks to the introductions of various NPC drivers that the idea to have Kamek appear as an item was born. When Kamek casts a spell, the racers are transformed into playable NPCs, so one by one they might all turn into Cow mid-race. I think it turned out to be a unique item that has never been seen before. In fact, Cow is a character who's inspired a lot of different ideas, including obstacle characters like Camel and Giraffe. I wanted to show the shoal floor through the crystal clear water at first. We were worried that we wouldn't be able to show the shoal floor because it was demanding on the processor, but our programmers made improvements here and where we were able to make it happen. Even with the familiar Koopa Troopa Beach course, we were able to create the visuals we wanted to show. Thank you for that, Sato-san, and that's the end of the conversation. So what do you think? Can Switch 2 really be able to power the Mario Kart game? Obviously. But then, what do you guys think of Mario Kart World? Will it be the best Mario Kart game yet? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell button if you're hyped for what's next in the gaming industry.